We're over here tapping in with KWJT, Puget Sound from space. I'm over here with Corey. You're tapping in with Tavares and sliding with Solana.
The car stuff.
Sorry if you're confused, brother. We are here with the intro. KWJT, Groove with the South, man. Thank you so much, Groovers at home, for tapping in with us for this past month of March. Truly a pivotal time here at Groovy Tapes. So a whole lot of love for the Groovers at home. Thank you for continuing to listen to us, tapping in 2022. Whole new year, whole new antics. We're going crazy, brazy, azy, you feel me? And then Tranquil Forest, thank you so much, home team, for holding us down. We truly appreciate it. You see me over here getting fucked up all the time. And without a further ado-ski, we got a new guest up in the building. We got our friend Campana up in the motherfucking building.
What's good? What's good?
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This has been a long time coming. We've met a few times and like I've talked about it, but like definitely after like the Umi episode, it's been like now it's Mando.
Yeah.
So it's dope to have you on and just like be able to chop it up.
Yeah. Like I said, thanks. I'm a fan of what you guys do, so it's cool to be here to kick it, converse, etc.
You know. So I always like to start just to give like the back history of like what got you into music and what kind of just like fueled that passion early on to get you to like the stage you're at now.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I've always just been involved in arts, like whether it be just drawing, music, dancing, all of the above. So I started out actually dancing, and I was in a jerk crew.
Oh, fire.
Back jerking era, so what, like 2010?
Yeah. Could you pin drop?
Oh, yeah. We could do all the above. But no. So I transitioned into music because I ultimately wanted to have music I could get to, music we could get to. Yeah. And so I was like, just wanted to get into recording music. So I ended up first going to the studio in Bremerton. That's where I was raised and born, with the homie Diedrich Fieselman.
Oh yeah,
yes sir. Yeah, he was one of the first people who took me to the studio. I recorded a couple of my first songs back in like 2010, so I was like 16 in high school. And yeah, from there I just fell in love with just the whole process of creating music beyond just music I could dance to. And so that's pretty much how I got my start in music in high school.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
So I heard through passing that you were part of the Macklemore project, just doing that. I forget what the actual...
The residency or...
No, so I wasn't a part of the residency, but I did the Mopop. It's EMP. It was EMP Museum at the time. They had a sound off competition.
Oh, fire!
I think they may be like a sponsor or something of the event, but like it's not like their event, the residency.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much like a competition that's held every year. It's like a battle of the bands competition.
Oh, fire!
But it's not limited to Seattle. It's like the Pacific Northwest as a whole. So even bands from like Vancouver, BC.
Oh, hell yeah!
Like apply, and so we, my band Cosmos and I, we did that back in 2016.
Yeah,
it was the same year that Paris Alexa did it. Travis Thompson did it. That same year. And so that's pretty much how we all started like getting close as like friends and collaborators and whatnot. And then my band Cosmos, we ended up winning that year. From that year, we were able to play at like Bumper Shoot, Sasquatch, and it led to hella other opportunities.
Oh, fire!
Yeah.
What did it?
Can I ring a little bit, brother? Yes. So sorry.
No, hell yeah! I like that. It made me excited to ask a question.
Yes, sir. We love to hear that.
What did it feel like going against your peers and like becoming victorious? Because like,
yeah,
at the time you're gauging yourself among the people you're around.
Exactly. It felt really good because I feel like like I'm the type of person who like really like if I put my mind to something and like really become fixated on something, I like become like obsessed with it. So like the year prior to like Sound Off, like I've known of the competition. I've known like a couple years back, I think Dave B actually ended up winning it.
Yeah.
But like I've heard about the competition, and like I've always wanted to get a band together to just represent just what I can do with live performances. Mm-hmm. So like back in 2015, started, collaborating and networking with guys that initially we ended up forming Cosmos. And for that whole leg of like 2015, we did like a leg of house parties, like small venue shows, like little events, all things like that to like practice and rehearse and gear us up towards doing the Sound Off competition. And it's like a 21 and under competition. So like going into 2016, I was like, I had turned 21. So that was the last year I could have done it anyways. Yeah. So like I kind of was like meticulous about like how I went about applying to the competition. For sure. And like really, getting geared up for it.
You were prepping yourself to be like, all right, like this, I'm using this to like leverage more because I know what I can do, but I gotta prove it in this space.
That's definitely one of those like, make it or break it, go home, moments. Like, how was it responding to that kind of pressure building up?
Oh, it was dope. It was all too because it like was around a sensitive time for me as well. Because one of my homies, who I made music with, he went by Nicholas C. Ruin. He had ended up passing away in 2014, like just in his sleep. And he is like my roommate. And Dylan Fout, who shot a lot of Travis's videos, he was my roommate at the time. And him and I both found him like lying like dead in his sleep. And like they did like a autopsy and toxicology report, and nothing showed up for like the sign of his death. And so like going into like 2015, it was like a huge transitional period for me. So like being able to like really hone in and like put that all into the music at that time and like create a band and create a whole experience behind it. Like I knew going into the Sound Off competition, like there was so much effort and time I put into it that I didn't really feel too much pressure, like it felt like good to like be able to exert all of that like bottled up energy and be able to, present it to, people on stage. So.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna give that one a hand clap, most definitely. One, thank you for sharing that moment with us. It's very powerful. Definitely have felt that before where, we as humans go through things like that, separating our livelihood and even being artists is like very important. And the fact that you welded those together and, I won't say use that moment, but, that moment motivated you, influenced the actions of just, letting all that energy out at the Sound Off. That's very powerful.
Yeah, it was dope. It was cool to be able to do that. And I even like wrote a song called Black Lighter that we performed like religiously. And like one of the first times performing that was during Sound Off. And it was like the concept of the song was like a lot of famous musicians like Jimi Hendrix, I think like Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin, they all died with like white lighters on them. But like they were like, usually we knew the cause of their deaths. They were like from overdoses or whatever other factors it may have been. But I wrote the song Black Lighter because like, ironically, we found like a black lighter like on his possession, and then it turned out we didn't have any sign for like the reason of his death. So it kind of like inspired that whole song that we performed live and was able to like showcase that. And like there's always been like a lot of different like moments during the performance of that song where it felt like, all right, like we can still feel him here. And like shit like that, it's like, all right, I know why I'm doing this shit. Yeah. Like it's dope.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If it's cool, I want to bring it kind of back to your upbringing in Bremerton and how the scene was at the time of your upbringing. So just how was that? How was the music scene in Bremerton? Yeah. What were some of your earlier influences within the space?
Yeah, so as far as I know, like growing up, like so I grew up in Bremerton. I went to school in Port Orchard at South Kitsap. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we had hella kids there. It was like one of the biggest forays in the state at that time. Yet the percentage of black people there was like slim to none. Whereas in Bremerton, hella diverse, multicultural, like we were saying. Yeah. And so that's where I would kick it most of the time, and that's where I lived. But like when I started making music, like initially there was like a lot of hate surrounding it. I feel like within Bremerton, it's like even more so, like I guess we can see it in Seattle as well, but within Bremerton, it's like a huge like crabs in a barrel mentality. Yeah. Just because it's like just small city. I feel like every small city can relate to that for somewhat. And it was just a bunch of white kids. So it's like they were always like hating on shit I was doing artistically, and like looking at it in hindsight, like I've never really gave a fuck what like people thought or my opinions on things if I actually genuinely gave a fuck about what I was doing. Yeah. Like anyone who supported what I was doing, like I much rather would have focused on that than, you know, people who wasn't fucking with what I was doing. Yeah. And also, like, I've never made music or done the shit I've done for the validation of white folks anyway. So it's like the majority of people who were hating on that shit were white folks. And also, like, the ones who were hating that were black, you know, I feel like it was just the product of the environment we grew up with. So it's not like any, like, I don't have any disdain. Like, that shit just inspired me to become what I am now. So it's like, I feel like all of that shit was important, like, to the process of, like, me becoming the artist that I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, just to add on a little bit of that, I definitely think it's a weird notion out here, or not out here, but small city mindset that like it's cool to hate, like and I feel like, you know, we really succumb to like that kind of environment out here. It's really interesting because it's increasingly growing right now that people are like stepping out of that like natural flow, and they're like, no, I fuck with this. Like, this is what I like. I like fuck the status quo. So you know, you're very much so one of those great examples of like stepping out of that status quo and like obtaining your own image and creating your own sound.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like it's something that like may come off intentional, but at the same time, it's nothing that I try to do. It's just authentic. Like it's just being myself, and I feel like the more authentic you are, the easier it is for you to decipher through like people who be moving phony and fake and shit like that. Yeah, so
that's fair. So I wanted to ask about Travis was telling us that there was a creative period where everyone basically would come to your house and cook up, and like you kind of held the creative home for a period. What was that time like?
So it was like right after like Nick had passed away. I had gotten evicted. Like I had a whole project that I created around that time called Eviction Notice, and it like highlighted the events like that took place. But I pretty much got kicked out, evicted from the place I was living, moved to West Seattle, and the house that I lived in for like 4 or 5 years within West Seattle was the house that I had like a lot of roommates like move in and out who were musicians, like who like were just moving from like either like my hometown Kitsap like to Seattle, like Tyler Dops, and like just like Sam Rydell, like Dylan Felt, like I said, like a lot of people like that who would live there for a period of time. And it was like a space that I wanted to like get my homies out to Seattle in. Yeah. And like I met like Dave Shanae, Mr. DC there for the first time. Like there's a lot of people I met at my house for the first time, which is kind of different. Like you don't really meet a lot of people for the first time at your house. Yeah. But it was like a cool environment to where it's like we would all kick it, smoke, like we would come with like whatever songs we've been working on, ideas, just play. Yeah. Just watch interviews, podcasts, shit like that. Like we would just kick it. And Travis was doing the Poets with the podcast. Yeah. And he had actually did a podcast with me and my friend Nia Lissa, because we did a EP back in 2015, so the year after Nick passed away. And he interviewed us just about just what we did with the EP. And so like to look at that in hindsight, know that was 7 years ago. Yeah. And now to see like where everyone's at now, like just musically, artistically, wherever it may be, it's beautiful to see. And like knowing like Travis knew Nick, a lot of us like in our friend group in the community, we knew who Nick was. Like he came from Spokane, but he moved out to Seattle around the same time I did. Yeah. And then we had connected via Facebook before he came out here. But like he had gotten like caught up with some shit with like an undercover like back in like 2013. And fuck the ops. Yeah. But like after that, like he like had to like do community work or like just make like save face to make it look like he was being like a upstanding citizen. Yeah. But like he got into the it was the poetry You Speaks. Yeah. So he started getting very involved in You Speaks, and
I used to do that.
Yeah, and he got me involved in that, and that's how we met Travis. Wow. And so there was a lot of poetry events that we would go to on like Wednesday nights, and like he got really involved in that, and like that like kind of like gave him a new light and inspiration, and it was cool to see that shit. But now, like, seeing the full circle moment, seeing all of us in the position we are now, it's cool to be able to do the shit we're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a beautiful feeling.
I'm letting these motherfuckers ring all motherfucking episode. I'm sorry. I appreciate moments like these, man. Yeah. To sit in this room, talk these stories, definitely deserves applauses.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you feel like you still have spaces like that for yourself where you can be that creative with a bunch of artists?
I want to say yes, but not as much as it used to be. I feel like a lot of things. I feel like the number one hindrance of that is like the pandemic, the times we've been in. Because I feel like even like with the band, with Cosmos, we were doing a lot of shows up into the pandemic. Yeah. But now we've kind of transitioned to doing our own things individually. And like I kind of was like transitioning to that prior to the pandemic, but we were still doing shows and getting offers for shows and things like that. Yeah. But like now I still am doing shows under Campana and still doing live shows with some of the members who played in Cosmos. Yeah. But it's like that's an example of like just one little thing that has changed due to the pandemic. Mm-hmm. But even more so, like I'm getting older now. I just moved into a house with my girlfriend. So it's like I don't really be having guests over like that because I got to be considerate about her as well. But also it's like we don't have like that one house that we've always had to like do that. That's more like so centralized because it's like it was easy when one, the West Seattle Bridge was open. Two, when everyone was in that general southwest Seattle, Berrien area. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of variables that kind of, led towards the position we're in now. But it's not like there's no space for that in the future.
Yeah.
And also, we've since our prior to the pandemic, we've had creative trips, where we would go out for weekends and book an Airbnb and have 15 and 20 of us.
That's right.
And do just create as many songs as we could throughout the process of that weekend. And I miss doing trips like that. That shit was really cool and really inspiring. And, coming off of just releasing an album back last July, it's almost been a year now. I'm kind of getting back into that, creative period where it's all right, I want to start working and building more content and seeing what I can conceptualize for the next album and shit like that.
Wonderful transition.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about creating Matter of Time.
Yeah.
And then essentially putting a movie to it.
Yeah.
Because that was amazing. There's a lot of ways that people have been known to roll out their projects or to continue the event that their project was to them. So I think you making a movie and submitting it, it wasn't just I'm gonna throw this on YouTube, it's gonna be a series of music video that's a movie. No, you went and submitted it, you won an award. There's what made you take it to that next step,
I feel since we've been talking, I feel the theme of a lot of the shit I do is I take it there. I take shit to where I can take it. When I become obsessed with whatever I'm doing, I want to do everything I can in my power and, within the resources I have to, make shit happen. So it was no different going into this project, and even more so having those years of trial and error and getting shit refined. I'm I know exactly what I want to do with this project. I know the concept I want to do. I know I want to do a movie, but I don't know how I want to execute it. So let me take the time during this pandemic and really sit down and really script this movie, really learn what it takes to write a treatment and storyboard. And I've had experience with, just video production in high school, but that was, going on literally 10 years ago. And just working and co-directing music videos. It's I wanted to take on something a little more ambitious. And I knew going this route, it's a lot harder to get newer viewers to look at a short film from someone they don't know. They're more likely to watch a 2 to 3 minute music video than sit down and ingest a whole 25-minute short film.
Yeah.
I knew that going into it, that, it probably wouldn't get as much engagement as if I dropped 5 music videos behind the project.
Yeah.
But I also realized that this was something that I artistically wanted to do, and moving forward, anyone will be able to go back within my catalog and be oh, this nigga put out a full short film for this album. And there's accolades and things behind it to back that, regardless of, how many people have heard of it up until this point. I feel my favorite thing as a consumer, figuring out about a new artist, is seeing how fire their shit is and seeing how many people don't know about them.
Yeah.
And so, I feel I'm still at that point. I'm very well still at that point to a lot of people outside of Seattle. So it's my main goal now moving forward is knowing I got a back catalog. So now how do I draw in more listeners, build more engagement, do more things that I feel people would enjoy, listening to. Also things that I enjoy making too. And I feel the fact that I can make a wide range of different music, I can, start working on shit towards that general, direction now.
That's fire. Yeah, I think. No, dude. I would get my shit off regardless.
Get my shit off regardless.
You know? I think that was well executed.
Thank you.
Because it like not only was it hella of the homies, so it felt like hella familiar, and it's like outside of just seeing like Lex and like outside of seeing Lex and Gritty and things of that nature, and just like a lot of the homies just working on it and it being swim team.
Yeah.
It was good. Like I watched it because I'm a new fan. So I'm very recent, like catching on. I'm listening to the back catalog. Like we were listening to P Cruz before you got here. Like I'm like, damn, that should be on all DSPs, but I understand the sample is probably crazy. Yeah. So I was like, damn, this is fire. And I'm like really vibing to it. But I feel like you brought me into like, I want more content. Like I was just looking at it in a standpoint of like, this is really, really good. Like I was like, I ended up commenting when it was done. I was like, oh, like this, there's no part 2. There's no like, there's no more because you just leave me. You left me fulfilled in that time where it ended and I was like, all right, I got it all. But I was like, fuck. Like,
and I feel like it's better to leave people like that than to leave them feeling like they can't get time back, you know?
No, for sure.
And I like that has been like the main reception we've gotten from people because, you know, it does leave, you know, what we can do with that concept open-ended. And also, like, I love, like, I have many passions. I feel like, you know, that's what life's about. I feel like music is something I love, but I have passions in so many other things. Like, I love playing video games. I love film. Like, there's a lot of things. I love basketball. There's a lot of things that I'm passionate about that I feel like I would love to find ways to incorporate into my brand because it's like your brand is just who you are nowadays. So it's like however authentic and however unique you make that, I feel like the more enticing it is to allow people to want to invest in your brand. Yeah. And it's like with film, like I have so many ideas for like sitcoms and like little shorts and things like that I want to in time be able to put those things out and implement them into like whether it be music or, you know, anything of that nature. But I know those things take time. I know those things take money and resources. So it's like the thing that I've gotten comfortable with growing as an artist and getting older is like exercising patience and knowing like, you know, if I'm not the most financially sound person, it's like it's okay to take that time until I can develop those resources and really put out quality content rather than just putting out things that I am not fully, you know, connected with. Like, and that's no shame on anyone who's like putting out consistent content with Reels or like TikTok. Like that's how the algorithm and shit works nowadays. But it's like I don't do music. I don't really give a fuck about making money off of music. I feel like that would be kind of stressful for me. Like I like being able to make music. If people support it and I make money off of it, that's great. But it's like there's so many other avenues and I hustle way too hard to be able to be like, this is the only way I want to make my main source of income. Yeah. To be like, I got to put shit out because I need to make money off of this. Yeah. So that's pretty much how I look at it.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is no, I'm having a great time. I just want to congratulate you, man, for stepping outside the box and really touching on long format. And it's something I've been a huge fan of. Whole time being, I'm like a film buff. I'm like a comic book nerd. I'm an anime watcher. So, you know, anything that has to do with, I guess, television aspect or
just art,
diving deep into that like cinematic universe, the art, I always commend because that is it's so hard to get to that point. Yeah, it's, you know, it's easier said than done. So one, I want to breathe life into that for you, or or in this moment, because you should continue to do things like that. You should, like you're doing it right. We need more black men, especially from Washington, who represent the Pacific Northwest, to be in that on that table, on in that room when it comes to making things happen. Did you have a lot of like the shot direction and a lot of say of like how the scenes played out? And
so I was on set for even every part that I wasn't in, just monitoring the shots, like Genki from Swim Team. He would we would overview shots together and make sure they look good, and like I helped produce it, so finding locations, getting talent organized, things like that. We had a lot of people in mind already that we wanted for specific roles, and it comes to find out like a lot of directors, like especially ones like Spike Lee, they write parts in movies with specific people in mind already to fulfill those roles. And I'm assuming a lot more filmmakers do, who have like access to a Rolodex of good A-list actors do the same thing. But like knowing that we have a limited, we don't like, no one acted before this film in the film. So like for it to turn out the way it did, like it all went, it all credit is due to, the production team and pre-production. Like we had people in makeup, we had people like even with catering, like we had people doing PA's work, lighting, like we really wanted to make it feel official. And a lot of the people who helped, knew we were running on a limited budget and knew that this was a passion project. So, they volunteered their services and things like that. But since then, we've been able to, like, since I've been helping produce just on different film shoots with Swim Team. So I've produced just 2 or 3 music videos so far this year. And then we just did UNCF, the United Negro College Fund. They had a gala event, and we produced the intro segment video for that. So I helped produce on that shoot. So just a lot of things like that are just building my experience in other areas and, allowing myself to, be a fly on the wall in situations where, there's a lot of people with these expertise that I can learn from firsthand knowledge. That's the type of shit like I'm focused on right now, and seeing how I can bring all of that back into just what I do with my brand and artistry.
That's fire.
Yeah. You like that one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always talking about being the fly on the wall.
No, that's my goal in life.
Space.
Yeah, that's fire.
Quincy, I forget the Netflix. No.
The Quincy Jones.
Yeah, but his best friend, they did
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I think I know what you're. Yeah.
It's oh my God.
I'm so sorry, I'm not familiar.
No, it's called Black Uncle or something, like Black Godfather or something like that. So there's basically a guy who helped fund Will Smith, Oprah. Like he's Quincy Jones' right-hand man, but he's like out the way.
Yeah.
So he does right. He's been in every room. He's like an
angel investor.
Yeah. But like of our culture. Like he's been a part of every probably major thing that happened in so many people's lives. It's like from Jamie Foxx to Will Smith, Oprah, things of that, of just giving them their first little position. Or like when Quincy Jones goes, hey, what do you think about this? He's the person he asked. So like a lot of these things that we get to see today, he was kind of that person. But like his whole life, he's just been like in the background, like in the room, part of the conversations, but like never wanted the spotlight. And I was like, that's my whole goal in life, is like figure out how to get into the room, but no one's like, all right, I got to take this picture with you, or you got to be on camera. And like, nah, I could just help facilitate and then take my ass to the crib.
Yeah, no, that's boss shit. I feel like that shit, like that's fire. shit, I'm trying to get someone like that behind my shit. Like,
no,
like,
hell
shit,
yeah,
fund my shit. Like, but no, like I feel like just like the path and trajectory that we're on, and all just the team of people I work with, like we really take pride in like authentic content and just longevity in the way we brand ourselves. So that's just a lot of the shit like I've been focused on. And like I know, you know, being a fly on the wall in a lot of situations, you know, helps, you know, develop those skills to be able to, you know, bring shit back to your table and be like, all right, what am I going to do with this, and help develop myself and my brand with.
No facts.
I'm giving you two a hand clap real quick. I appreciate. I just want to say this first, like for real. I appreciate that kind of selfless act. You know, it takes a lot to remove yourself from like that type of conversation, or you know, it's really one of the most amazing supportive roles, as you mentioned with the Black Godfathers. You know, like. Yeah. Those are moments in time where countless people like rely on those kind of things. Like, how else do I expect to be in the spotlight when the room is filled? So having those moments, being the fly on the wall, is really like, you know, stepping back and like, hey, this is you. I'm gonna put everything together though. So. No, you guys definitely deserve recognition in that form, because there's our scene is huge, you know. Yeah. Continuously people are growing within each and every day, but it takes a lot to take a step back. So shout out to you, gentlemen.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I wanted to get into like your modeling. So you are you a likelihood
brand ambassador?
Yes. What was it like to get that like local recognition and that continuous look?
It's dope. Considering like Likelihood is a very like, you know, reputable boutique here in Seattle. Yeah. And you know, it's somewhere I've shopped even prior to the brand partnership. So you know, just getting connected with them, like hearing them like really be down with like what I creative direct, like, because I do everything like creative directively for the shoots I do with them. Yeah. So seeing them like very like down and to implement my ideas and hear from the artists and like really work hand in hand to like not only like heighten their brand but heighten my brand as well. Yeah. I think that's cool and essential. I feel like a lot of more boutiques like in the area should do things like that, because it's like I feel like it's a good cross promotional measure. And the team there has been very supportive of like just my artistic endeavors and things like that. So it's dope. I have another little video segment coming out with them this month that swim team shot too. So.
Oh, fire.
Yeah.
So are you now allowed to skip the line, or are you?
Oh, no, I wish. There's some things like I can't get priority for like drops, like for the reservations or for the raffles. Yeah. But I like depending on certain things, like there's certain times where they put like discount codes like live for like me and for any of my followers to use. So they do that pretty often, and they do like gift cards. They give me gift cards and things like that.
They give back in certain ways.
Yeah,
I was just curious whether they were like, you would be like, all right, this drop is coming. I seen you post about it. When you save my 13, I'll come buy them later.
Nah, I wish. And they usually have pretty limited sizes anyways. So it's like it'd be hard. Even knowing that sell. Other people probably work there, probably have priority over some things too. But even then, it's like I know some shoe contractors have in their contracts that none of the employees can like get things that are for consumers or whatever the case may be.
No, facts. There's a dude who wears size 13 that lives in LA. Mm-hmm. Me and him are in competition at likelihood. Like he'll
for real?
Because like I usually buy because 13 always goes on sale. Like it could be the best drop forever, but like no one here will like go pick it up, or it's like a very regional thing unless it's like a super hype shoe. So there's this dude that I like, him and I will check the sale list and there'll be some heat on the sale. And I know like he'll buy certain shit I'm looking for, or I'll buy certain shit he's looking for. So like him and I got like unbeknownst beef because he lives in LA and he does all his shopping at the Seattle store. So he'll just like, oh, what's on sale? Oh yeah, I need these 13s. And I walked in one day, I was like, yo,
who's this motherfucker?
Yeah, who be buying all the 13s? Like I know nobody here. Like they be there for hella long and then they be gone. And then they were like, nah, it's this dude who lives in LA. And I'm like, fuck, I can't even like beef with him for real. Like he's out
of state.
No, it's hard out here for the size 13s, man.
Yeah, bro. Like that nigga's I hope he don't just be flipping them. Like I hope
you're like,
size
nigga,
13.
you better be breaking these bitches in.
Exactly, bro. He's stealing my shoes.
I need to see beaters.
Exactly.
Beaters only.
So I did want to bring up how I first got introduced to you.
Yeah.
Was you calling out Marshall. I didn't want to do this at the beginning of the interview. I wanted to save it to the end.
Cool.
But like, what was for you? For me, it was like a real moment.
Yeah.
Because no one here really gets into real rap beef, because that's what it felt like. It was like, nah, nigga, I spit better than you, and like I'm gonna address it. And not only did you address it online, you addressed it on wax.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. That's
within,
like it's hip hop.
Within 48 hours.
Yeah, it's like that's a hip hop like mentality and a thing. So I wanted to know like what was that time like for you, just like musically, because that was a real like rapper moment.
It was fun.
Yeah,
that I feel like that was like some of the most like exciting shit we've had in the Seattle music scene.
Yeah,
since I can remember, honestly. Because like even I say that because I would just search like daily for like, I swear, like 2 weeks, and 2 weeks in social media is a long fucking time.
Facts.
Like Seattle music scene or Seattle beef, and there would be tweets from hella people we didn't even know. Yeah. And then Gritty had that one tweet that went viral, and he was like, "This is the Seattle music scene," and it had like hella retweets. And that drew even more people to looking into just what was going on. Yeah. But like it was fun for me because like first and foremost, like what started that was because there was a video I saw from him that I came across on the timeline, and my ears hurt. Like my ears hurted. Like And then like not like aside from that, like your music could be one way, cool. I'm not gonna just go out of my way to address some shit. Like that's not me. Like I'm not gonna sit here and talk about people like publicly. Like I'm not gonna just go out and say that. But if you're someone who's calling yourself the Prince of Seattle, telling motherfuckers you got nominated for a Pulitzer Prize when it's submission based, and like taking opportunistic advantages of white guilt in the name of Black lives during protests during the height of the pandemic, like that shit is not cool. Like aside from your music, this type of shit doesn't make you cool. Like this shit is like you're weak for that. But damn, on top of that, your music is trash. Oh, that's the cherry on top. So I was like, let me say something about this because he's trash and I don't like what he does as a person. It's like objectively weirdo shit. Yeah. Like, and so I addressed it. Started this whole uproar, you know. We knew what happened.
It definitely was uproar.
One of my favorite uproars, though, because it was like, niggas was like, it came down to like, we're all allowed to have opinions, but I was like, nah, no one's really talking about what he said though.
Exactly.
No, he said it was trash. Like, we're talking about whether he can say it. No. He can say whatever he wants. Can we talk about the music?
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
that's a moment of holding someone accountable in the game, though.
Yeah, and
I
it's
think we
like
need to do a lot more of that.
Iron sharpens iron, and like, fucking like, if like this is rap, like people go online every day and say LeBron James is trash, or like this musician, that musician's trash. But since we're not in such close proximity to those specific musicians or athletes, we don't bat an eye. We don't say, God forbid me say someone's trash that everyone in the scene knows. Yeah. Like, what's the difference? Like people are trying to say, oh, you shouldn't be tearing people down in the scene, blah, blah. I was like, I don't get, if I think someone's trash, I'm going to say it. But like, I didn't just go out of my way and say that. And it's like, people can go out of their way and say LeBron is trash, but their stats show like, oh, he's obviously not trash. Yeah. Music, it's subjective. So why are you being so fucking mad over me having a subjective opinion about someone's music? Like, it blew my mind, like the uproar caused. So I addressed it in the song and addressed all the fuck shit he be doing too. So
it was just to touch on, like, you know, why I feel like the why in that situation was just, the time was everyone in the game right now was being supportive of one another. Yeah. And this was a new notion. This was something new for the scene. Like, oh, we actually fuck with each other. Yeah. Like, and then when you mix that in with like, actually, like, if you're gonna represent yourself in hip hop, we're talking about real hip hop, guys, like beyond like the subgenres, beyond the melodic shit, beyond all this other hoo-ha that we create. We're talking about bars right now. We're talking about hip hop, you know? Yeah. What we're privileged to have, do the creators of hip hop. Nah, man. We gotta call this out.
Yeah. And
you can't be the face.
Yeah, and
the first face at least.
What really got me was niggas were trying to say I couldn't rap. So I was like, oh no, let me just show you niggas that I can rap. And then they're like, oh, this whole thing is just promo for your album. I'm like, what? I don't even work like that. Like, but I mean, shit, if it works,
exactly.
Then so be it. But like, nah, and it's like, I feel like we need to call out more people. I mean, not even just call out, but it's like, I would hate, like I want my fans to, I was talking about this shit with people the other day, like, I want my fans to be somewhat bougie in the music they listen to. I want them to have good taste. Like, I don't want, like, a fan being like, oh, I fuck with him, but, like, I got him and Tech Nine on my playlist. It's like, that's like, yeah, people can listen to different shit, but it's like, you know, everyone thinks they have the best taste in music, but it's like, you know, certain people you go around, they're on the aux, you're like, damn, what's this? And then certain people are like, damn, like, what's this? Yeah. But like, I want people who fuck with me to be the former. Like, I feel like if support comes so easy to everyone, like, what type of support? Like, you can't support everything. Yeah. Like,
you got to be able to critique.
Yeah.
And a critique in the industry shouldn't be like, oh shit, like they're trying to tear me down. It should be like, prove me wrong. That more of that mentality.
And I would have respected him more if he even responded with anything musically that was decent after the fact, but he hasn't. And everything he's dropped since then, I'm more than sure has not been decent. So it is what it is. I left it where I left it. Everyone else had more things to say than I did and than he did. Yeah. Which was the funny thing about it.
No, you really, like, for that 3 days or however long it went, like,
it was a week.
It was a topic of conversation. It was like a week.
Yeah. A full 7 days.
Yeah. Like, it was like, literally, me and Tavares are like, did you see?
Yeah,
like,
literally. Like, I literally linked up with Corey, and he was like, "Bro, have you been on
it
Twitter?"
Was in everyone's group chat. Yes. Like, I was like, I had a bar in the song that said, "This is the shit that people be in their circles whispering, laughing about." And I was talking about his music, and I was like, niggas cannot sit up here and act like they're not saying his shit is trash behind closed doors. I just said it publicly. Everyone didn't like that. And I was like, make me the fucking villain. Let's Photoshop my face on Thanos.
Yeah.
And it's a wrap.
No, I feel like that was a great hip hop moment. Like for me to watch it, I'm like, we're having like,
he loved it.
I was like, we're having a real hip hop moment. Yeah, like this is some like real rapper shit. It's not like it's
beyond the like antics normally that like people
not even the antics. It's not like street beef. They don't have like we're about to like you're from the same neighborhood or a different neighborhood where I got like
it's
problems.
Straight in the art.
Like, nah, bro. As an artist to an artist, I don't fuck with it.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna speak on it. And not only am I not gonna like. I love that when people were like going against you, you didn't do the Washington thing to be like, "Oh my bad, like I'm sorry, like I hurt your feelings." Cool, like you're not fuck all.
I lost so many followers from that shit, and I was just like, I don't really fuck with you that much. Anyway.
Exactly, you threw the middle finger up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care. Like anyone could have their opinions about me, but what you can't say is that I can't rap. I'm like, you're not gonna tell me I can't rap and me not prove you wrong. Exactly. That's just point blank. Period.
So I feel like as like a music fan and a hip hop fan, I was like, this is what's supposed to happen this gives us credibility.
Yeah.
Like shit like this. Where
there was niggas out, like I said, outside of the state talking about this. Like someone, it was, I think it was Seth McDonald.
Yeah.
He had hit me up and he was like, he had a friend he was recording from out of town, and he was asking him a question like, what is all this like Seattle rap beef about? And like he wanted to know what it was about from an outside perspective. And I was like, that's the type of shit we need. We need people talking about what we do out here, good or bad. And like anyone who says this is bad, is this really bad? Like nothing about that situation was bad.
No, it was amazing.
Like, yeah.
It was literally amazing.
I think if you're an artist and another artist comes to you and especially using the platform that we use, you either figure out you're meant for this type of shit or you're not. Yeah. Honestly, point blank, period.
And his whole career is built off of white guilt via the pandemic, so. That's where I'll leave that at. Like, more power to him, but that shit is not going to fly anywhere outside of Seattle. And that's just a fact. Like, I don't care what anyone else says. Like, that's just what it is.
No facts.
Before Corey really goes crazy, brazy, you see us smoking on the finest.
The doinky oinky.
Hold on, hit the button.
Oh, yeah, you see. All right, yeah, you see us smoking on the finest over here.
When you watch it back, you're here.
Groovy Tapes, you feel me? Doinky oinkies.
So another moment on the internet that you had that I loved again was when you were like, I rented out the lake from 9 to 11 and had everybody's relationship in question. So I gotta bring this up as well. Because you can't just be flake.
You can't rent a motherfucking lake.
Even like it looked so perfect where I was like, damn,
so nice.
Like, you started trouble for no reason. Like you didn't have to do that, Captain. So like
that shit was hilarious because I was with my girl. I was like, nah, I'm gonna definitely capture it like this. And it was funny because I was like, babe, there's literally not a fucking boat on the water. I was like, yo, I rented the lake out for you. She's like, really? Yeah, I was like, and I looked at her and she was like, shut up. And I was like, no, but that's hella funny. I was like, I'm actually going to post that. And so many people actually believed it. But aside from that, there was people who were like, come on, man. Like, my girl sent me this shit. Like,
what you doing? Me and Salam were talking about, I was like, look at what Campana's doing. And you're like, it must be nice. And I was like, bro, you can't be like.
But no. Shout out Hot Tub Boats. That's what it is. Yeah. I know there's a lot of probably TikToks about it, but it's on Lake Union. It's ran by one of the homies. One of the homies actually is a marketing director for Hot Tub Boats, but it's a great group activity. They're usually booked like a month or two ahead. So if you want to plan some shit for the summer, you probably can. But it's like $350, $400, but it groups up to like 6 to 8 people.
Oh, nice.
So if you split that a group, and honestly, it's better to go like during like a rainy or gloomy day because like the contrast between the airflow and like the hot tub on the water, it's a good little balance.
Oh, that's
so
fire.
Yeah.
You just got a free date idea.
Hey, yo. That contrast was hitting me right here in the seat. I know what you're talking about.
Nah. It was drizzling a little bit on that day, so it was like windy and like you could feel the rain, but like the whole bottom half was warm. I was like, damn, this is dope. Yeah, and there's a little like you can bring a speaker on there. There's like a little storage where you can put bags and shit.
Oh,
you can bring alcohol in there.
Oh, it's a real vibe creator.
Yeah, no, it's a vibe.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you definitely had like, I love I feel like the winners of our state will always be the people who are witty and can do the artistry, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like you fit that category of like, you know what'll hit as far as like a good internet joke or how to utilize your platform to like get the attention that what you're doing garners. So yeah. I think that's really dope because not a lot of people can use it very strategically, even if it's not planned. Like, even if you're taking like a genuine moment to just be like funny, but it becomes bigger than you. Yeah. And I want to note that and commend that because not a lot of people have the tools to navigate that or take the time to learn those things about just the internet and just utilizing it.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's fucking fire.
Hell yeah. Definitely have been able to really curate some like great moments for like us to talk about just in a personal. So I think that shit's fire.
Dope. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that wasn't really a question. I just want to. Sometimes it's just nice to acknowledge the shit that people do.
Yeah, and like I said, I fuck what you guys do. I think it's important because there's not really like a lot of podcasts out here that highlight culture and lifestyle and music and arts and entertainment.
It's pretty cool. There's a couple popping out. You know,
this one is fire.
If you ever got some time, check out Blacktop.
Yeah, the homies.
See, you know what's up for Groovers at Home, as well as Dog Pound, man. They're going crazy and really supporting the scene like we need people to. You feel me?
Yeah, there's not like a entertainment type front in Seattle like with like radio personalities or like hosts like, and I feel like that could really like aside from music like bring even more so the community together. And I know there's some projects I know that we do have in the works with Swim Team to be able to like do some things like that in some months coming forward to like highlight music, arts, culture.
For sure.
Community.
I'm trying to get in that next hoop game too.
Yeah. Hoop Fest, Swim Fest.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the next one. I was hating because like everyone's picture, like that's why I love when like media people put on events because I'm like these pictures are so icy.
Yeah, it makes everyone look like hoopers.
Exactly.
It's like, damn, why'd you look like a hooper yet the shot you took you airball?
Like nobody even know that. No video recapture. It's just like them perfect floater like photos.
Yeah.
Camp, before I take us out today, man, do you want to let any of your followers, friends at home, groovers know about what you got going on in the upcoming?
Yeah. When's this going to be out?
Next Friday.
Cool. So April 27th, I'm opening up for Daisy. They're a super dope, groovy R&B like jazz vibe type band.
Oh, I'm on it.
They played at the Day In Day Out festival last year.
We know exactly what you're talking
So
about.
I'm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were on Tyler's albums.
Yes.
Fire.
Yes. They're playing at the Smoking Grooves, I think.
Yeah.
With all the
Yeah. With all the R&B and soul music. Oh my goodness.
So I opened for them at Barboza. I'm playing with the live band, so you guys gotta make it on April 27th. So that's a Wednesday at Barboza. But yeah, tickets are in my bio on Instagram at Campanazone. Everywhere online, Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Campanazone. But yeah, that's what I have coming out for now. I should have a single coming out sometime spring, summer.
Yeah.
Just getting all the pieces organized. But yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Man, KWJT, you've been grooving with the South, man. We got Camp up in the motherfucking building. Corey, Solana,